Do you feel like you've never done more for your child, yet feel more stuck or feel like you're in the same place? Well, this video is for you. This video is to talk to the people who have tried countless doctors, specialists, numerous prescriptions, supplements, holistic or biomedical therapies, and nothing seems to be getting the results that you're looking for. And so it can be so confusing to wonder, well, what are we missing? Or why are we not getting the results that we're looking for? And the truth is really ultimately it's because we have to get to the root cause. And so what is that, you may ask, especially when everything has promised to be the root cause or the answer or the solution? Well, truthfully, we're in an age where less may really truly be more. And oftentimes we can see all of these options on this can help this and this can help that. And really a lot of good things, too much of a good thing can be bad. And in a very extreme example, you can actually have too much water. You can have too much sleep. You can have too many fruits. And so it really is in saying not inherently like any of these things are bad or don't inherently have benefits, but we can be doing too much and overwhelming the body when it's already in a state of stress. And really, truly, if we're overwhelming the body with too many things, we can actually be adding stress when our goal is actually to decrease stress. And so what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the fact that 2 in 5 kids in the United States have a chronic health condition. We're talking that allergies, ADHD, asthma, autism diagnosis, all of these things are at record high rates. And in adults, we find that mental health is taking, we're seeing mental health crises. We're seeing as far as health, immune system, chronic stress, sleep disorders. We're seeing all these pop up, chronic exhaustion. Everywhere I look or everywhere you look, I always notice when there's an ad for something that's promising more energy, because it just speaks to this idea that we're exhausted and we're all looking for something to continue to push us further, and that more and more and more, when in reality, we really need to rest. That resting is really truly what we need, and not to continue to push even further. But overall, we see ever-growing medical advances, and yet we see our health is not improving. And so we see we're struggling with more things than ever before, but yet our medical advances are more advanced than ever before. So really, where is the missing link? And really, ultimately, to give us the lasting results that we're looking for? Well, truthfully, what we're looking for is we're looking for the nervous system. The nervous system is the foundation to the whole body. So the nervous system is the brain, the brainstem, and the spinal cord, and then the spinal nerves that go to every cell, muscle, tissue, organ in the body. And so the nervous system is like the command center. It's not just the brain, it's the entire center of nerves that control every function in your body. And so it really is the command center. But what happens is we get so stuck on stress that the command center is sending out stress or survival signals. And that's when we see overactive, or we see too much cortisol, we see adrenaline, we see fatigue. Our body is constantly pushing for this survival versus allowing our body to rest and digest. And when that happens, it's a cascade. And so everything is impacted. So when it triggers survival or it triggers stress, everything downstream is going to be impacted. The adrenal glands are going to be producing more cortisol. It's going to downregulate other hormones they could be producing. It's going to upregulate inflammation. Inflammation has a whole host of havoc that it wreaks, especially through the GI tract, even in the heart, all over, neuroinflammation in the brain. And it all triggers from this immediate stress response. It's also when the brain is in stress or survival, it's making decisions from the amygdala. The amygdala is the emotion center of the brain versus making logical, rational, sound decisions. And so we're really going to be making these decisions triggered from emotion, and then we're going to be perpetuating into the stress, and then it's going to turn into the physical effects of stress. And so that's why we need to be able to push the brake pedal or allow the body to relax, because when we're sending signals to relax, it affects everything downstream. And we do that specifically through the vagus nerve. Now, if you or your child have ever experienced difficulties with sleep, sensory, digestion, or behavior, all of these are related to the vagus nerve and to the nervous system and to this imbalance when we're stuck on this stress. Other signs, common signs of dysfunction where we're stuck on stress can be immune challenges, especially frequent respiratory illnesses. If you feel like you're always sick or struggling with congestion, gross and fine motor skills, sensory overload, stomach problems, stomach pain, gut disturbances, sleep disturbances, or a lot of behavior issues, especially amongst kids with tantrums and meltdowns, or in adults as high reactivity because we're moving from that emotion center or that amygdala. And so what are we looking to really to improve with nervous system regulation? Well, we're looking to improve all of those things. By regulating the nervous system and stimulating the vagus nerve, you can improve sleep, you can improve eating, digestion, staying healthy, which is really just reaching optimal health, regulating emotions, sensory abilities, etc. And so if you're seeing any of these being out of balance in either you or your child, it can be a red flag that you're stuck on stress. And to be mindful and say, how many different areas can I be mindful of where the stress, I'm experiencing stress, and how I can regulate that, or how I can give my body a little bit more TLC to balance that out. I always talk about like there's a stress bucket, and the bucket has a hose, and then it also has a drain. And what we're doing is the hose is filling up the bucket, and that's life. It's filling it up with stress, but that is life. We're constantly, as long as we're living in this world, unless we were in a bubble, one of those like hamster bubbles you've seen people like run around in, unless we were living in a bubble, we are always exposed to stress. That's why stress is not inherently bad. And so we're always exposed, and that's filling it up. But the idea is we have a drain, and that's what we're doing to balance or to regulate or support our bodies. And that would be equal. We're stressing our body out, but we're giving our body rest. And we're doing this push and pull, this gas pedal, this brake pedal. But what happens is when this stress hose is filling the bucket and we're not doing anything to drain the bucket or to support our bodies, eventually it overflows. And when it overflows, that's symptoms. And that's when we start to notice the physical effects of stress or nervous system dysregulation. Now, essentially, when we talk about nervous system regulation, we're talking about how it impacts everything, but especially and because the nervous system controls everything. But there's also what's called the bottom-up approach. And the bottom-up approach says that the central nervous system impacts everything, and so it's a pyramid. So if you are dysregulated at the level of the central nervous system, it's going to impact everything from movement and balance and coordination. It's going to then go to the gut and the immune system, and then it's going to go to digestion and absorption, and then it's going to go to brain base, which is cognition, emotions, thinking, etc. And so it really is, there's a pyramid, which I was referencing. I was looking at my pyramid, and I wish one of these days I'm going to figure out how to have some slides on here for you guys. Well, I'm learning. But if I could show you the pyramid, it would be the central nervous system and be movement, and gross movement, fine motor. It would be digestion, gut, immune, and then it would be brain-based activities. And so it's bottom up. And so it's saying we can give our body probiotics all day, but if our body is not able to go into resting and digesting, then how many probiotics can really outpace the fact that our body isn't able to relax? And so if our body isn't able to focus on resting and digesting, then what good does, all these extra supplements that we're trying to do to keep things moving for constipation, for example, for in kids or in adults, or with immune challenges. If we're chronically stressed out, we're going to be what's called immunocompromised. And so the immune system is going to be naturally more susceptible to getting sick. And so we can take vitamin D and C and zinc all day, and those are all fantastic and wonderful supplements that are supported by research. But if we're not addressing the cause of the chronic stress, we're going to constantly be moving from a place where our immune system is susceptible. And so it really is saying that we can stress our body out by adding too many things. And this is especially true with kiddos, or with adults, where it's like our schedules are crazy. I hear it all the time, and there's school sports, and there's school, and there's after school activities, and there's play dates, or an adult, it's work, and then it's kids, and it's relationships, and it's trips, and it's always something more that's pulling our attention. It's always something more. And so if we're constantly in these states of busy lifestyles, and then we try to supplement or add all these extra things, where in adults it's, we're going to cold plunge, and then we're going to go to the sauna, and then we're going to eat clean foods, which are going to take longer to prepare, and then we're going to dry brush, and then we're going to etc. And it's all of these extra things we're just adding to our to-do list. A to-do list is already full, and so we're actually creating more stress and to do things that are actually supposed to net positive. And so are we really truly helping the body, or are we overwhelming the body? So the goal is that we're mindful of what works, starting at the foundation, saying what works for your body, and how can we be mindful of where we're giving our body space and time to rest. If you are interested in finding out if your body is stuck on the gas pedal or on the brake pedal, we have scans to take a look and find out for you here at Sun Life Chiropractic. So I look forward to seeing you and helping support your body push the brake pedal.